now that we've seen how to write basic Python, let's have a look at functions. So you remember in C, when you were writing a function, we were actually giving it its return type, the name of the function, like function, arguments, if we had any, like int a, and then the function body, or the function prototype if we were in the header file. In Python, we have almost all that, but we have actually the function definition keyword, which is def. We have the function name, like function, and then we have the arguments. Now remember, because Python is automatically typed, we do not have to specify the argument type inside the function. We actually don't even need to specify the return type of the function, although we can give what's called a hint of the type, which is very useful when you want to develop a complex program and the interpreter or your IDE can find the functions and give you information. But the Python interpreter does not need to know what is the return type of the function. It can manage that on its own. So we are going to define the function with semicolon, or colon, sorry, and then we can do whatever we want inside the function, give some instructions, and use the same keyword, which is return, to return a value for that function. We will do the same thing in C. Now, an important thing we are going to see in Python, which is called the car arguments. Now, the car arguments are very interesting when you have a function and you do not know how many arguments you want to give. So, for example, let's say I have a function and I want to sum all the arguments I give to that function. So let's call it a sum. Now, do I give one element to sum? Do I give two elements to sum? The answer is I can give an arbitrary number of elements if I use what's called a car argument. So I'm going to use an asterisk, and let's call this kargs. The name is arbitrary, and you can actually use many kind of name you want for the car arguments. You are not obligated to use just this car argument name, but it's kind of useful. Now, the car arguments is a list, like we've seen before, and this list contain all the arguments that were given to the function, and now we can do what you want inside our sum function. To use the sum function, we can now use the sum function with one argument, like sum 1 on 2, or we can use multiple arguments and any number of arguments we want, like sum 1, 2, 3, 4, and etc. And we can give an arbitrary number of arguments. And notice we are not giving a list inside our function. We could give a list to our function, but we are actually giving it multiple arguments and a different number every time we call it.